Yes, Kajal ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. I, CA Kajol Thakkar, welcome you all on behalf of Women and Young Members Excellence Committee. It is my pleasure to welcome onto this webinar. Yashaswini and Idol is a Wednesday series of programs conducted by Women and Young Members Excellence Committee for Women Chartered Accountants and by the Women Chartered Accountants. This series is an extension of Sky High Simpson, which concluded its 100 episodes. It is one of the committee's initiatives to not only disseminate information to women members on technical updation and non-technical skills, but also to empower and inspire women members to come at forefront and realize their verbal skills at public forum. So today's topic is about valuation of business before acquisition, which is to be taken by CA Namita Sethia. A brief profile about our speaker. CA Namita Sethia is a chartered accountant and a certified IFRS professional with 16 plus years of experience in corporate finance, taxation, banking, working capital management. She is currently head of finance and accounts, leading finance, taxation, and SAP implementation. I would welcome CA Namita ma'am and just enlighten us on the program, on the topic given.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kajal. Really, it's honor to be here and to have inviting me to share my thoughts. So thank you so much, and I think we should not waste our time and jump to the topic on the acquisitions. So if everyone is okay, so should I share my PPT and start?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Just tell me it is visible.
Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
I'm
You
just
please make
starting
it full screen.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Just give me 2 minutes. Right. It is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm
Visible.
audible. I'm audible
Yes.
as well, right?
Yes, ma'am. It would be better if you
PPT
will make it full
and
screen.
start on the full screen actually. It is full screen only.
F5.
F5. Yes, yes. Now it is full screen.
Full screen?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, ICI and Preeti ma'am, to give me this opportunity and share my practical thoughts in terms of when we acquire the business, what we have to do, what we have to think before the acquisition and all. And I'm just summarizing it of my past 10 years experience in this acquisitions process and all. So if any question related to this, you will ask me in between or maybe at the end of the session. I'll happy to share my thoughts and everything, right? So today's topic is business valuation before acquisition. So in a practical way, if you are in the corporate sector, so sometimes if you're from the finance side, so many companies by your CFO, by your CEO comes on the tables and you think about this whether we should take it or not. So many synergies you think about or to take in this advantage to take this business or not. So I have summarized all the business valuation proposition while we are thinking of the acquisition of any kind of businesses. So here the agenda of this business acquisition is first is introduction to pre-acquisition valuation. When somebody comes to you, okay, I want to sell my business. Yeah, I want to sell my one part of the business. So what is your thought, what you are doing as you are working as a corporate, as an employee, or you are an owner of the company if you are thinking of this. So everything, first of all, you have to give some thought on the acquisition, some thought on the business side. So first we'll cover the introduction to pre-acquisition, then we'll cover on the valuation methodology. Valuation methodology means We have so many methodology while computing, while calculating the business and all. We have the income, market, asset based approach. I will go through it and give you the all the brief about the all the methodology. Then come to the synergy valuation. If we acquire the company, so whether it will give benefit to our business or not, it will many type of synergy it can be. First is operational synergy. Our cost can be reduced, our revenue should be increased, our market capture will increase, our profit also will increase. So we have to see the synergy valuation. Then what type of acquisitions are there in the current scenario, in the Indian current scenario and the worldwide. So we'll discuss on this. Then again, apart from the acquisition, some type of acquisition is like a slum sale and asset transfer. So I'll discuss brief about all these slum sale and asset transfer. And then main the heart of this whole agenda of the the valuation of the business is due diligence. So I'll give you my practical experience in the due diligence process. So because it is very critical to acquire any business. So we'll touch upon all the areas and we'll go to the next slide then. Okay, so first is introduction to pre-acquisition valuation. It is very simple. If somebody is coming and some merchant banker or some other banker you come through, or your bosses or somebody or says, okay, we are thinking of to acquire this company. So the first thing comes into mind is what is the profitability? What is the revenue? How big is the company? So business valuation before acquisition is a critical strategic process which determine the fair market value or the target company and informs acquisition decision making. So what we have to do is first is if it is come onto our table, so first we have to see the purchase price, what is the negotiated effectively on a prime of it. Because what happened is in the sometimes when the company comes to us for the selling and other things, they give us then a ballpark number because they have to sell their company. Then if suppose if they give the 100 rupees, 100 CR, yeah, 50 CR something. So first we'll keep that 100 or 50 CR and then our work start after that 100 to 50 CR, whether it is sustainable or not. If it is not, then we have to prove them that it is not sustainable. You have to come down. So first the purchase price, then identify the value creation opportunity, potential risk. Business to le liya, but whether it is beneficial for us, whether we are capable enough to sustain this business, whether we have the main power, workforce in the company to run this business. Second is provide the foundation for the integration planning and ROI calculation. It is most important for this thing is what happened is something if we acquire the company and if we thought, okay, it is 75 CR or 100 CR. And if you are taking on a loan or debt ratio, so it is burden to your existing company because you have to pay the loan, interest and EMI for that acquisition money. So you have to see another company which you are acquiring and whether it is profitable. Whether it is profitable means sometimes on the books company shows the profitable, but revenue generates through the cash only. So every time we have to see the cash flow. So cash flow is very important to acquire any company. Then regularity and shareholder requirement, statutory things, we have to see TDS, GST, all the tax for the tax compliances purpose, we have to see each and everything. Now come to the valuation methodology. There is a three type of methodology. First is in income-based approach. In income-based approach, we calculate the DCF method. A DCF method, I'll share you one slide in which I have prepared one Excel sheet. So you'll come to know how we prepare, how do we the income-based approach come to the, just a second, I'll share one Excel sheet. Can you see this? It is visible for you, to all you? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So here the income approach. So income approach come to the FCF. future cash flow basis. Future cash flow basis means what is the potential of the company to earn the money, earn the revenue in the future. If it is there's no potential, there's no use to acquire the company. So first we have to see the free cash flow. So what type of free cash flow is there? If the existing owner will give us the free cash flow, we'll check with the market scenario as well. Okay, this type of business earn this money. We have to see the historical revenue as well. So on that basis, we have to see the free cash flow. The 5-year will put in the free cash flow as per the discussion with the current owners and their CA and other things. And then we have to calculate our present value. I think I should not discuss about the present value of the forecasted. Everyone is aware about the how to calculate it. But meanwhile, I'll give you just 5 minutes brief about this. Suppose a company XYZ has come and ask for this is my FCA 5 CR, 6 CR, 7 CR, so and so forth in a 1 to 5 years. So how do we calculate their present value for forecast FCF? We have to calculate their present value on the basis of EBIT, earning before interest and tax, right? And then we have to calculate, multiply by 1 tax depreciation, and we reduce this minus capex or change in working capital. So suppose if they say ki, okay, our FCF is 5 CR, so how do we going to calculate is my FCF is 5 CR and my WACC, weighted average cost of capital, is 12%. It should be around 10 to 12% in the Indian scenario. If you are acquiring a foreign company, it should be changed. Maybe it would be between 7 to 8%, depend on the market scenario. So our WACC, there is a WACC formula as well in the, it is being prescribed. So then if our expected FCF is 5 CR and our present value, our WACC is 12%, then we have to calculate 5 years FCF. So this way we have to calculate the FCF of the 5 year, which comes around 24 CR. It is a hypothetical example which I demonstrating here. And then we'll come to the terminal value. What is the terminal value? Because what happened is in any companies, there is is a seasons company, yeah, there is a life cycle of the company, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. After that, our growth is stuck. It is stagnant of the 5 year, 5%, 4%, and 3%. It does not increase much. If you see the Tatas, if you see the other, if you work in the stock exchange, you see after the maturity company growth is on a same level. So what we calculate is the terminal value, which is called the G. We calculate and multiply this with the last 5 year FCF free cash flow, and then calculate it WACC minus G. So I calculate this in the formulation. If you see this, so it is coming around the 66 CR. Only basis of the formulas basis. It is very easy. I'll give you all the example as well, and then come to the enterprises value. So this plus this, if we go to the total, so 90 CR will be the enterprises value. So this is the method of the XYZ value. So now I'll give you the practical example. What happened is sometime when the company comes, and this is exactly we experienced. Always owner is in hurry to okay jaldi finish कर दो, हमने 60 CR दे दिया, हमने 70 CR का PC purchase consideration का amount दे दिया, now it is fixed. No, never. As a professional, we should not go whatever he is asking. We are a professional, we should go by the income approach, asset approach, or market approach, and calculate our formulation, everything, and then calculate our enterprises value. बिकॉज ये काफी बार हमने हमारे एक्सपीरियंस में देखा है कि कंपनी का जो ओनर है वो हमेशा 3 times 4 times या 5 times ही ask for, but when we go for the actual acquisition it comes around maybe half of the asked value. So always follow the methodology which is prescribed by the ICAI. It is very useful for us. Then come to the asset approach. It is very simple. There's 2 types of assets, book value and fair market value. In book value, whatever it is there in his books, we have to take it minus the liability or the current liability. And if we have the fair market value like land and building, plant and machinery and other invested, we should put this as a fair market value. Whatever comes, book value or net asset value, we have to propose as a PC, purchase consideration. So both the methodology is applicable. If he has a very good land and building and assets, and it is increasing way, so he always prefer the fair market value. He means the owner, whoever we acquiring the company. Now come to the market. Market scenario is like this. Suppose we have a company which have a similar company in the stock market. So what we can do is, if suppose XYZ company is there, his turnover is 100 CR, EBITDA is 12 CR, PAT is 6 CR. What we can do is similar line of companies, what is their EBITDA in the stock market and what is their multiple is going on, because whole game of the acquisition is the multiple. All the sector has some multiple on which the EBITDA calculated and price PC is calculated, price consideration is calculated. So we calculate the EBITDA, and in similar lines, in similar companies, we calculate the EBITDA as well. Whatever they are offering, yet their multiple is going on in the market, we offer to the existing company if it is a private limited company then. So suppose if it is 12 EBITDA and its market is A limited 12, which is in the similar line, so we'll give them the 12 multiplied by 12, it's 144 CR, we will give them as a enterprises value. But this 144 CR is over enterprises value, in which we have to adjust the debt and cash. Always take care about the debt and cash. Always our enterprises value or our PC should be free of cash or free of debt. The two things we have to take care. Otherwise, what happened is at the acquisition time, we in a hurry or maybe some pressure was there, so we ignore this part. But always take care that debt and cash should be considered in the enterprises value. So if it is 144 is the value, then we have to remove the debt, we have to add the cash, and then enterprises value will come around 129 as per the formula. So this is a 3 method which is going on or which is very frequently used. Now I'll come to the another my original. Just a second. Can you see this? It is. Okay, now it is visible. Please say yes so that I can start.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Visible.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So now we have discussed the income approach, we discussed the market approach, we discussed the asset-based approach. Income approach, WAC method, DCF method is applicable, in which we have the predictability of the cash flow. If company is a cash-rich, cash flow is there, growth is there, then we should go for the income-based approach. Then if the company is a market-based approach, means we have some listed company to compare to see how it works, then we'll go for the market-based approach as per the multiple of the EBITDA. Now, next is the asset-based approach, which is commonly used for the distressed companies or liquidation scenario, where we have the book value or market value and will reduce the liability and then come to the enterprises value. So these methodology is using by the right now is currently available. Now come to the next. Just a second. Okay, so I had discussed this in a Excel sheet. First, we have to gather the historical financial data, then build the financial forecast, calculate the cash flow, and then determine the discount rate, present value, terminal value, and then drive the equity value and share price. So I demonstrated in the through Excel as well. Now come to the synergy valuation. Why we are acquiring the business? There is lots of synergies are available. So we have to figure it out which synergy suits to us. First is if it is cost synergy. Yes, if it is operationally, if we get the acquire the company, suppose a company has a machine or some type of automatic machines which if we acquire this company, so it will reduce our cost in the manufacturings, or maybe some other things which company has which we don't have. If we acquire, then our cost will reduce. So we have to see that whether it is cost synergy or there is there or no. Then again is revenue synergy. Of course, if our revenue is n number, and if other company which we are going to acquire is revenue is x number, or x if it is increased by 100 and 200 cr, so it will give us the very good synergy. So we'll see to it if it is our revenue is increasing by acquisition. Strategic synergy means, of course, if company, suppose I'm giving you one example, we have one company in the India which is related to the logistic business, in the trucks and others, we take care of the trucks, drivers and other. So what we did is we acquire a one company from Germany which is making the trucks, part of the trucks, body of the trucks. So what happened is we have in India one company of logistic business which take care of the trucks and other domestic, all the revenues and other. We acquire another company from the Germany. So synergy, what happened is all we capture the Germany business, India business, and we import their Germany truck here as a OEM basis. So our truck cost is also reduced. So we have to see the strategic synergies, right? Then again, the financial synergy, of course, if it is a loss-making company, suppose sometimes happens, if we are a profit-making company, and some person is not able to run the business because of some reason, because of ages, because he doesn't have the successor, and he doesn't have another person to take care of this thing. So what happened is sometimes they wanted to sell the company. Sometime what happened is if it is profitable, okay, anyone can buy the company, but it is loss making, but they have a good background, good credential of last 15 years, 16 years to run the business. So if you have a profitable company, you should acquire that company to reduce your taxation, or to get the more credential. So sometimes it happens to get the more credential and loss making company as well. So these are the synergy evaluation. Now come to the what type of acquisitions are there. So there is a 3-4 types of acquisition. Horizontal acquisition means the same company, same industry we want to acquire so that our profit revenue will be doubled, right? Like if you give example, Facebook acquire Instagram, it is the same example because they wanted, it's a horizontal acquisition, they wanted they wanted to acquire this. Now vertical acquisition, what is a vertical acquisition? Same industry but different type of work. We have the logistic company but we don't manufacture the truck. So if we have the logistic company, if we get the manufacturing, so manufacturing is also come into the kitty. So it's a vertical business. Yeah, we have a one supply company. We want a one extension of vertical something. So we can do this vertical acquisition. Now the conglomerate acquisition. To conglomerate is a diversification of business, like ITC does it, like Tata does it, like Reliance does it. Any type of, you go into the food, you are going into the food, you are going into the making the drones, you are going into the manufacturing of steel, different type of segment, different type, only just to acquire the synergy of the different type of business. Why this conglomerate is very important? What happened is sometimes I've seen some promoters and all, after 30 years, 40 years of the company, running of the company, they say, ki, okay, now my business is in the static position. It is not going to increase, not decrease. It will be the same. Now I have to inquire about the other segment. segment. Like if he is a manufacturing, chemical business or something, after 30 or 40 years, he wants to acquire in another brand company, real estate companies, because they have the fund flow position, cash flow position in their existing business. So what they can do is they can take the risk from the another companies to taking the risk. Okay, in new segment, let's start, maybe new business will be different, will give them most profitable revenue or margins. So conglomerate acquisition is also going on. Then market extension, if you want to acquire the market extension like Facebook, I told you, Instagram, so that they acquire the full synergy and capture the full business. Reliance also acquiring small companies so that they have the one monopoly in the business in the market. So these types of acquisitions are there. I have already given a case study in which I mentioned that multiple mid-sized manufacturing revenue is this type. So how we are going to calculate after adjusting the working capital, capex, contingent liability, and synergy value. So these types of value already discussed. So I'll just go to the next step. Okay, so we have discussed about the acquisition thing. Now I'll discuss about the slum sale and asset transfer. So this slum sale and asset transfer is not exactly the acquisition. It is a kind of acquisition, not the fully value company. So slum sale, I'll give you the example. Slum sale means if one big organization is there and they want to sell a one segment or one segment or maybe one company or one subsidiary, right? So what we do is we just you can just compare this with the demerger as well, right? So in slum sale, what happened is full one entire business or one undertaking we acquire, not full the name. We are not acquiring the company, we are not acquiring the capital, we are not acquiring the existing loan, only the points which we suppose if some company is technology related. So what we are doing is we are acquiring only on the technology related asset, technology related people, technology related all whatever the related things are there, not acquire full business, not other things, only one segment. So this comes to under the slum sale. Same like the asset transfer. So what is the difference between the slum sale and asset transfer? I'll tell you. In slum sale, there is no capital gain there is no GST. If we are acquiring under the slum sale, we acquiring a one segment or something, GST is not applicable on the slum sale. So it is reduce our PC, purchase consideration, first. Second is it is considered as a capital gain from the seller point of view. So he has to pay only 20% rather than 30% or 28% on the corporate tax, right? Third, it's automatic transfer business. Say you get the license and contracts and other terms, and as it is, or only the name and patent name and everything will change after that. So slum sale in a way is a good approach rather than asset transfer. Asset transfer is like a simple, you're going there and purchasing a one asset on a GST or an invoice basis. So you have to pay the GST, you have to deduct the TDS if it is applicable. It's like a simple purchase things, right? You have to do the documentation. If an asset is there, you have to transfer the asset, patent and other things. Right. So in a way, in acquisition things, always we prefer the slum sale. It is good idea if it is a private limited company, but if it is a listed company, so they have to disclose it. They have to give the board, keep the board meeting and other things. So for listed company, it is very cumbersome, but private limited company, slum sale is very beneficial. Okay, now come to the main point of this valuation process. Due diligence, very critical, very critical, because what happened is it is a hidden things actually, and because the company is doing the audit, also company is doing their tax audit and other things. So they always, what happened is when we go to for the due diligence and work and other things, so they always give us TDS ka data, GST ka data, and all the audit papers are there, audit reports are there, everything is fine, nothing is there. No. What sometimes, because auditor, what happened is, if auditor is new, so they can find out the mistake, but auditor is from last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, is into the system, he knows the process, so he will see to it and say, okay, this is fine. But financial due diligence is different from the audit point of view. It is find out the hidden charges, hidden expenses, right? Sometime what happened is, in the audit point of view, if expenses in the name of the company, they will allow, but in due diligence we'll check whether this invoice is it actually in the name of the company, or it is in the personal name of the owner or personal family members. So in due diligence we catch those personal expenses which are there in the system, in the book. Sometimes it's happened because in the promoters driven company, their personal expenses and everything is captured, but in the due diligence we check whether it is a personal expenses, whether it is related to the company's expenses. So financial due diligence is always, and it should be very specific and to the point. Next is legal due diligence. Of course, legally, advocate good. We should hire the good advocate who does the legal due diligence, check background checking of the owner, background checking of the all the other shareholders, companies. And sometimes you have to go to the department, or maybe some NCLT things and others, send the letters is there is any other legal liabilities there against this company. You have to see to it. You have to be very cautious, and especially if you acquire the foreign company, so double check, because you don't know the rule and regulations of there. Always prefer you hire one localite there as a for the legal purpose, for the tax purpose. They know, they understand this, and they will guide you in a right way. Then the commercial due diligence, of course, what is the commercial due diligence? You have to go to the, you have to talk to their customer, their vendor, are they satisfied or not? Are their services are good or not? You go to the market position, see their service or product is sellable or not? What is their future, their feedback? You have to check. Then the operational due diligence, of course, if there is a factory manufacturing concern, you have to go there, check factory is running well or not. If it is service related, you have to see whether service is performing in the well, there is no objections on the services and everything. You have to see each and everything. So here the funda is, if you are acquiring the company, you have to see from A to Z, like you are forming a new company, right? You have to see each and everything. So same way you have to see each and everything. Okay, any question if in between? So I'll just summarize everything after that. No, I guess. So sorry. Okay. So
Namita, I actually have a question. I do a lot of due diligence. In due diligence, what I'm understanding is that, the valuation is kind of pre-decided, right? When the deal is happening. And then, ultimately we are, arriving at, either DCF.
Backward
mostly
calculation.
DCF. Yeah, right. But I just wanted to understand if, at any time you can just explain what are the points which, due diligence should also highlight in terms of which will affect the valuation. Like say, I know that EBITDA multiple or PBT multiple is there, then those things definitely will affect. But from liability side also anything which can affect the valuation?
Yes. So I'll give you the example. What happened is, in any valuation SPA, whenever you are making the SPA and everything, always give the PC in a deferment payment. If you are acquiring 100%, that is fine. If you are acquiring 100%, then always make the deferment payment. Deferment payment means, if suppose you have given the PC of 50 CR or 100 CR, so you put it away in such a way so that this amount will pay, but this 10 CR or 20 CR will keep it as a deferred payment. What deferred payment is subject to the condition fulfilled. Within a 1 year, no tax liability, no legal obligations or something has come up. If it is come up, then we have to deduct your money from the deferment payment. So we actually do that. Why? Because we have done one acquisition and we have paid full amount and we keep only 3% as a deferment or something like that. After that, we receive 100 crores ka liability against this company, right? Which was we're not aware, even due diligence has not come out. So first of all, you are right. In most of the acquisitions, the acquisition price is already determined, right? And in the determination, what happened is, as a professional, our duty is, if it is come into the due diligence system, we have to give all the positive and negative approach to the promoters or to the owners. We have to, whether they have to decide whether it is they have to take it or not. But as a due diligence or the legal things, we have to do this. Those two things we have to do is, first is always keep some buffer to make the payment in the defer. 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, and always keep your side is safe. Means if it is something come up in the future, take that indemnity of that. We are not going to be here if it is related to the previous thing. Always keep this in a legal SP and everything mentioned. If it is something has come, indemnity, always keep it in your SPA. So the same way, you have to secure your PC or your valuation, right? Anything
Yes,
else?
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Namita
here,
ma'am,
yeah,
I would like to ask a question.
yeah.
So just in brief, if you can throw some light on how do we factor goodwill into the valuation? I know it is a very huge topic, but just in brief, if you can give some pointers on that.
Right. Okay. So I'll give you one example. First is goodwill. See, if you know the PPA, purchase price allocation, after the acquisition, you have to take a one certificate of PPA, purchase price acquisition, from the valuer. What is this PPA is? Because as Neha rightly said, कि always our प्राइस कंसिडरेशन इज प्री डिटरमाइंड. ये सब बाद में हम बैकवर्ड कैलकुलेशन करते हैं कि हम डीसीएफ में जाएंगे, इसमें जाएंगे, सिर्फ वो अमाउंट लाने के लिए. तो व्हाट द गुडविल का कोई वैल्यूएशन, देयर इज नो वैल्यूएशन ऑफ द गुडविल. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, इफ इट इज गुडविल इज देयर इन एनी एग्जिस्टिंग इन मींस एनी कंपनी, यू हैव टू कंसिडर जीरो. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, there is no value of the goodwill in the books of income tax, right? Abhi now come to the PPA. Suppose your PC is 50 CR. Okay, so in PPA, purchase price allocation, what valuer is do is, he will ask you, is 50 crore mein, what is the amount for the capital, what is the amount for the asset, what is the amount of net working capital, what is the amount for the other intangible assets. In intangible assets is we call customer acquire kiya hai humne. If it is our uska customer base बहुत बड़ा है, so we'll give them some value of the customer acquisition. If he has a very good workforce, suppose 100 ki workforce hai, 200, 300, so we have given some portion for the workforce as well, right? But always keep remember, if in the new business is goodwill is there, you should not consider the goodwill. You should, in a net present value, you should consider as a zero. But in a PPA, if you have to give them synergy, like because they are running the business from 10 years, 15 years, or they have created some goodwill or some value. So keep it minimum in the PPA. Right? Because if it is come to your business, if it is merged in your business, this goodwill value is nothing. In your consolidation and everything, your auditor will give it into zero, because income tax goodwill is not allowed. Right? So, or it is a long process actually. I'll keep it separate session for the how to calculate the goodwill, PPA and other things. We'll come to know how we are going to handle this.
Yes, definitely, okay, ma'am, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank
you. So here is,
okay,
sorry, you are saying something.
No, carry on, ma'am, please.
Yeah. So here is key takeaway, and the next step is employ multiple valuation method. You should approach different method. Check not only net present value, inside value, market value, everything. Realistic synergy assessment. See, what I have seen is always document each and everything when you are acquire the company, whether it is valuable or not, but you have to, because it is when it is come is it comes valuable after 10 years one or 5 years when the assessment comes. So please, each and every document keep safe, keep everything should be documented through email, something, labor force, everything, whatever you are acquiring, everything should be documented. You never know in the assessment, in the legal cases, these are very valuable things. So key takeaways means you have to take care of all the valuation method, all the documentation part. Structure matters, acquisition structure, especially in the significant impact value through tax implications and other. Thorough due diligence, of course, I have always mentioned you that is very very important part of the acquisition. So you have to do the thorough due diligence. So this is it. Anything else which you want? I can speak on the valuation part. From my side, it is now. And thank you so much.
Ma'am, there is a question
Right.
from one of the participants, Geeta. She is requesting if you can repeat the portion of operational due diligence just in brief. If you
Okay.
can show that slide.
Okay, yeah. So operational due diligence is what I have given an example also, and now I'll give you another example of the when you are acquiring a service industry or it is related to the IT, because nowadays IT is on the boom and everybody is talking about the IT. So if you are acquiring a IT company, first or foremost important things is you have to check IP from the technical guy, because most of the cases, if you heard about that, IP is bogus, there's no value of that. So if you are acquiring in any companies for operational due diligence, you have to check their IP, their working style, check all the document which they have, they kept it for last 3 years, 4 years, or from the inception of the company. It is very cumbersome work, but what happened is, please always make a team, appoint a good auditor or good valuer who support you on the operational things. So because in a hurry, what happened is, okay, अरे हमारा पीसी तो डिसाइड हो गया है, सो व्हाट हैपेंड, लेना तो है ही, क्या फर्क पड़ता है. बट आई टेल यू माय एक्सपीरियंस, promoter has mentioned, okay, we have to take this in the 65 cr or 45 cr, that is another story, but you have to handle this business. After that you have to run the business. So always take care before that, check each and everything. If it is a service industry, IP, all the documentations, patent, go to the trademark site, check whether it is trademark registered or not in the operational side, and all the related workforce also. I'll give you one example. We acquire one company in which they mentioned 139 employees are there in the company, and when we did the human due diligence, human resources due diligence, actually it was only 60 employees. Remaining employees were working for the other companies for their promoters. So it happens also. So always take care about this. If it is a manufacturing company, production line, all the machinery which is using, all the machinery is in a good condition. If it is 7 years, 8 years old, so what is the replacement synergy, or what is the replacement process there? You have to see each and everything, right? And the operational due diligence in the service industry, of course, IP and other things. And most important things in operationals, always check their sales order. Always check their sales order and take the reference as well, whether it is right or not. If they say we have a work order position of 100 CR, we do the 120 or whatever it is, check whether it is practically possible or not. They have the work order position, or they have the genuine sales order. Sometimes, or only for the sake of selling, they make the fake sales order or bogus sales. So you have to check whether the sales are proper, sales order are the proper or not. customer reference and everything you have to take. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Anything else?
Yeah, I cannot see any more questions in the Q&A section. So thank you, Namita
Thank
ma'am,
you.
for
Thank you so
taking
much.
out
Thank you so
your
much.
valuable time for such a nice and simply worded and very, very practical examples that were included in your presentation. I'm sure
Thank you.
we have, learned a lot, and we have learned that there is a lot more to learn.
Right, right, right. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yes.
Anytime detailing also. So I'll take another also session. I'm talking to someone. So give you another insight of the valuation, especially
Yes.
in the
Yes.
due diligence things and the valuation things.
Correct. Correct. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay. Thank
Namita
you.
ma'am,
Thank you
so
so much.
much.
Thank you all.
And
Thank you.
thank you to all the participants for, taking a benefit of this session. Over to the technical team. Are we ready to start the next session?
Yes, hi. Just a minute. Let me introduce Alka Adatya, who is our next speaker. Um, Alka Adatya is All India rank holder, certified fraud examiner, and ICI certified in forensic accounting and fraud detection. She is an independent forensic practitioner with 15 plus years of experience in fraud investigations, audits, litigation support, and corporate misconduct cases. She's also trained in READ technique, which is Chicago, USA. I think over to you, Alka. We are expecting a nice and insightful session. Alka, I cannot hear you. I think you're on mute.
Thanks a lot, CA Neha Shah, for such a lovely introduction. And I must say, the facilities have been arranged very well, especially Saurav and Ruchika. I think they have arranged it very well. So I'm just trying to figure out can is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
How come I can't see? Oh, one second. Where is
You can change the view from the top part where you can make it side by side speaker.
one second. It's fully seen my screen. One second.
Yeah, it's not on the PPT mode, but we can see the screen.
Yeah. Because I can see your this, but I can't see my. I'm just trying to figure out. So yeah. So hello everyone. Uh, my name is Alka Adatya, and I'm a chartered accountant and a certified fraud examiner. Now, I have conducted lectures at institutes, forensic accounting and fraud detection courses. And this is my first time with a specific women chartered accountants group. So it feels great. And, very excited to meet you all. I can't see individual chartered accountants here, but I hope we can meet all one day. So let's begin. My today's topic of presentation is on the basics of conducting interview and interrogation. Now, this is a very vast topic, so I will not be able to cover in detail, but maybe I can, try to cover the nuances of this topic. And this is a very interesting topic of mine because I have conducted some few audits on interview and interrogation. So there is some direct experiences there. In fact, when I started out, matlab ek audit tha jisme, we had to go to Surat. So I was very shocked the first time, because normally CAs, we deal with data, and here there were so many people to deal with, so it was like totally taken aback. And I tagged along with my senior. He managed it, and I was doing doing the notes taking work and all that. And I told him also that I will not be able to do such audits anymore. And he was like playing coolly. And then next time we went to Ahmedabad. In fact, I went to Ahmedabad. He told me, you go, I'll come after 2-3 days. And then like he didn't come only, he just put the whole responsibility of that audit on me because uski shadi thi, so he didn't turn up. And I managed it, and it went very well. It was successful. Then I came back and I studied further. I also did this course on read technique of interview interrogation. So it's a very interesting topic for CAs. And also interview interrogation involves talking and listening. And I love talking and listening. Guess most women do. So this is interesting. But what is different is that interview interrogation is much more than talking and listening. There's a certain way of conducting this process. Also, there are certain skills to be learned. For example, while doing this process, it is also important to evaluate a person's behavior, because a person might say one thing, but his body movements, his facial expressions might reveal something entirely different. For example, a person might say no, but he might nod yes, like this. No, I didn't do it. So some kind of psychological insight is also required to be learned while doing interview interrogation. Well, it is apart from body different from what we normally do in audits and our regular practice. But once we get a knack of this topic, I think it's really very good way to conduct a lot of things. So in fact, I'm not able to. So, there have been an effort on the part of the authority since very, very old times, to develop successful fraud detection techniques. So, back home, even in Vedic times, interrogators, they evaluated suspects' behavior while detecting lies and deception. So, there is this particular verse which I'm going to read it out to you all. A person who gives poison may be recognized. So a person who is a liar, who is a fraudster may be recognized. He does not answer questions, or they are evasive answers. So, because he is anxious, he is deceptive, he avoids answering questions, or he speaks nonsense. He bluffs. Then he rubs the toe along the ground and shivers. Now, this is talking about the body movements, that he's rubbing the toe along the ground and shivering. His face is discolored. It talks about the facial expressions, which is discolored. And he rubs the root of the hair with his fingers, he's become so frustrated as if he just wants to pull out his hair. And he tries by every means to leave the house. he wants to run away. So these are some of the cues that have been suggested to detect lies and deception. Also, Greeks, they tried detecting lies and deception by asking very specific and calculative questions and by checking out the suspect's pulse. So, by checking out the physiological changes that is happening in the body, one can understand about the mental state a person is going through. So, what is interesting about these strategies is that, whatever they developed was based on the actual observation, based on what works and what doesn't work. Now, contrast this with the audial strategy, which was existing in the Europe as well as in India for a very long time and was based on this oh my god belief. What is this oh my god belief? सब ऊपर वाले के हाथ में है, like so God will intervene and God will reveal who is innocent and who is guilty. Very very unfair but very much prevalent. मतलब एक जैसे if you're lucky then ठीक है तुम बच जाओगे, and if you're unlucky then you'll be trapped. Also, there were torture methods that were used, where suspects were tortured with red hot irons by boiling them in water or by drowning them to get confession or to know the truth. So, these torture methods, the third degree methods, they have been used in the wars throughout the history of our mankind. So, अभी क्या कर सकते हैं मतलब to get confession or to know the truth, so many methods. Also, there is a famous example from Ramayana epic where Sita, in order to prove the truth of her own faithfulness, she took to fire. She went through Agni Pariksha. But of course, nowadays, nobody's going to do this. It's a very extreme thing. Nobody is going to take up Agni Pariksha, but that does not mean that one cannot detect lies and deception. In our modern times, there's a very famous incident of Bill Clinton when during his testimony before the grand jury regarding his affair with Monica Lewinsky, a very, very, what do you say? It's a very famous case study. In fact, it's one of my most interesting case studies for my upcoming book that is coming up on investigation. So this case is, I keep reading about it. And in this testimony, what had happened was Bill Clinton, that he used his mouth guard a lot. If you can see from the picture that, he kept on covering his mouth as if he wanted to hide something. Also, he had a very fixed and very intense gaze. He was not flexible. He was not natural. And whenever, when we are doing interrogation, people, if they're natural, and if they are talking and if they are, sharing details, yes. But if they are having such kind of reservation, some kind of rigidity, then, something is wrong and you need to probe further about it. So here also, if you see Bill Clinton, here he's very rigid. And also regarding nose touching incident, anyone aware of his nose touching incident during this testimony? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. No,
Okay.
I don't exactly remember it. No,
Okay.
this testimony, but I have seen this case.
Yeah.
I know that about this.
Yeah. Oh, 1 second. So what happened was that, very interesting it is. So when he was telling the truth, that time he rarely touched his nose. But when he was lying, as was proved later that he was lying, so he kept on touching his nose. Now I already showed that thing, but can anyone tell me how many times he touched his nose?
I don't know about it.
It was total 26 times. Every 4 minutes he kept on touching his nose. And this
Because
was,
of the nervousness.
yeah, the thing is, when we lie, and nostrils, the tissues, they get itch, they flare up and they get itchy. So you just want to keep on touching. In fact, I would go further on this is that, that 3 monkeys wala case hai jahan pe the hand to face, बुरा मत बोलो, बुरा मत देखो, बुरा मत सुनो. So in fact, there also, what they are doing is they are using hands and they're using the face. So whenever this situation happens, when people are getting nervous or people are lying deceptive, they're going to use their hands and face, essay, whatever, fidgeting the shoulder, whatever. So you need to, that's what, that observation, evaluating the behavior, also verbal, non-verbal, everything has to be seen. And it's a very interesting area of competence. So so as long as mankind will exist, such fraud and one second. So as long as mankind exists, this fraud and deception is going to happen. And also these techniques are going to evolve, and we are going to keep on learning new things. So you all are here and I'm here, and what we are going to cover, I'll try my best to cover most of the topics that I know. And we'll cover the basics of interview and how it is different from interrogation. Also, we'll cover some tips as to required to be a successful investigator, and we'll do some behavioral analysis. Most of it is covered. Then important steps to conduct interview, important steps to conduct interrogation, and then we'll wrap up. So this is some PPT that is being prepared. So the moment you come across the term interrogation, tell me what comes across your mind. In one of the batches that I took, one told me Nana Patekar. So he remembered Nana Patekar when this term he heard, interrogation. So what about you guys? Hello? This is little weird for me because I have to speak. It's less interacting. Y'all can hear me? Can you all hear me? Hello? Can you hear? Hello? Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, you are audible.
Okay. So can anyone...
You're saying something, introductions, yeah.
What do you think about when there is this word interrogation? What is your first thought? What is your first, what you can imagine? Anyone can try?
First time when somebody is interrogating to someone, so what comes first thing in your mind, right?
Yeah. What is in your mind when you hear this word interrogation? What comes in your mind?
There is some false things are there, something they wanted to inquire.
Okay.
Something which is confidential or maybe not.
Yes.
Not to the open to the public.
Okay. So that, like, there is a dark room. Abhi film mein kaisa dikhate hai? Like, there is a dark room. There is a spotlight over the nervous. There is a very nervous, sweaty suspect is there, and who is being interrogated by, a very dominant investigator. I'll use a common word for interviewer and interrogator. Investigator is the common word, and with a rod in his hand, and very dominating and all that, and maybe he's hitting or something like that. So ऐसा कुछ scene आता है mind में, but in our, when we are doing interrogation, there will be no dark room. So as a confidential, what you said, that there'll be a private setup which will be free from distraction. And this is very, very important when you're doing interrogation. बिकॉज क्या होता है कि ऐसे एक बार मेरे साथ हुआ था कि जनरल रूम में आई वाज देयर एंड आई वाज रिपोर्टिंग टू माय सीनियर, एंड बिहाइंड मी सिक्योरिटी ने भेज दिया था एक बंदे को. So he was listening to what I was just reporting, and he heard what I was telling him. So what happens is, it's very important कि तुम्हारा स्पेस जो है ना इंटरव्यू का, के इंटरोगेशन का, वो एकदम प्राइवेट हो. And you have all the facilities out there, the files are there, everything is there. So वो leakages भी नहीं होता है. So that is important. Also, there will be no hitting game, no third degree. We don't do such things. But there'll be a mind game of domination and persuasion, which will be used by the investigator over the suspect to get confession. So, confession or to know the truth. So, the main purpose of conducting interrogation is to get confession. इतना ध्यान में होना चाहिए कि interrogation is about getting confession. So, interrogation is reserved for situation when evidence is clearly available and the fraudster is clearly identifiable. मतलब ऐसे ही चलो विंडो शॉपिंग नहीं करना है कि चलो इसको पकड़ते हैं और पूछते हैं कि हाँ तुमने फ्रॉड किया एंड ऑल दैट. Interrogation, it's a very heavy handed conversation that happens. So only when you know that okay, this person has done it at that time, because you're getting confession out of him, that you're making him admit the guilt, so that time only you get into that zone. In interview you might ask that okay, do you have information about who has committed the fraud? So you're asking. But in interrogation you might say that okay, you are the one who has committed the fraud. So that is the difference. Understand the goals between interview and interrogation. Interview is to gather information. It is to get information. So it is like सीता गीता बोलते हैं हाँ जी हाँ, you want information, you don't know who is committed the fraud, you don't have details. So when you're gathering information, that is called interview. But when you're getting confession, that is called interrogation. To get confession, that is called interrogation. And somehow if you're interrogating a person who is an honest person, so that time what goal you've achieved is that he'll tell you you got to know the truth. So the main purpose of interview is to gather information, and the main purpose of interrogation is to get confession or to know the truth. So both the goals are different, and because both the goals are different, the conversation will be different, the attitude of the interrogator will be different. In interrogation, the investigator has to be persuasive, dominating, sometimes even accusatory in getting confession. See, the suspect will not confess unless he knows that the investigator is 100% sure of the suspect's involvement. अगर तुम ऐसा लैंग्वेज यूज करोगे कि हाँ आई थिंक you may have got something to do with the fraud. I think मतलब क्या मतलब, so if you are not sure तो कोई voluntary थोड़ी confess करेगा हाँ मैंने crime किया है, मैंने fraud किया है. Nobody will confess voluntarily. So here he has to be 100% sure. जैसे मैंने एक बंदे को बोला कि I know you are carrying money with you that belongs to the company. So best for you is to return it and give details about it. मतलब so that is the kind of tone, मतलब वो संभालना पड़ता है कि तुम इंटरव्यू कर रहे हो कि इंटरोगेशन कर रहे हो. Also when you're doing interview, then you are doing interrogation, then don't go back to do interview. So वो interrogation कभी नहीं करना चाहिए. Once you are in the flow of interview, you're asking questions. वहाँ पे most वहाँ पे क्या होता है इंटरव्यू के टाइम पे 5% you're talking and 95% you're allowing the subject to talk. Because you want information from him, you're encouraging information. And in interrogation, it is the reverse. So you are the talks that you're doing is you are doing the talks as an investigator, and and you are just giving little or this very little opportunity for him to deny the guilt. You want confession. So that is about interrogation. So any questions on this? Should I move to the next
Yeah.
one?
Yes.
Clear on this, because this is like the base of your interrogation. मतलब, and normally क्या होता है कि interrogation I'll cover in this अभी एक केस है कि यहाँ पे एटीट्यूड कैसी होनी चाहिए इंटरव्यू, क्योंकि हम लोग चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स है तो नॉर्मली हमारा व्हाट वी डू इज वी आर मोस्टली कंसर्न विद डेटा, we are in our laptops and all that, but when you're doing interview interrogation, it is you're dealing with people, so then there is a lot of, what do you say, that mindset has to be different, because people don't give information so easily. In fact, we like to talk about it. We are, humankind, we like to talk, but we don't want to have any trouble for us. So what happens is when you're doing also such audits, people don't like to come forward because they will think that, oh, there might be some consequences to us if we come forward and give information. Some leakages will happen and our jobs will go. So your duty as a investigator is to remove that obstacle and to encourage people to give information. Even if you see the statistics, that most of the frauds that have been uncovered is through getting tips rather than doing audits. So वो जो टिप वाला जो बिजनेस है ना, जहाँ पे you don't have evidence, and ऐसे ही हुआ था सूरत में जब भी we had what was the scenario there, that there was a whistleblower team which had written to the managing director about certain frauds that was happening in the company. And so we were appointed, we were the statutory auditors, and we had gone there to Surat. Now, because we had information, because the whistleblower team gave us the information, we got the transaction trail, we got the evidence, we also took their interviews, interrogations, whatever, sab ye karke, we made a proper report, the dossier, and then we submitted. So wahan pe to, because we had information, it was good. But in Ahmedabad, where I was sent, very broad mandate, because they saw that, okay, now Surat, we were able to get all this data out of people. They said, you go to Ahmedabad and you see whether any wrongdoings are happening or not. Abhi aise kaise, matlab, some kind of this has to be there. No, there was no restrictions of the years also. Koi bhi chalega, matlab 10 years, 15 years, dekho kya, what is happening. And improve, we need some improvements. And any employees who are being exploited, they were also concerned with the welfare of the employees. There's a broad mandate. What do I do? I mean, so first step is to understand the business. You tell me what areas mein kahan pe golmaal ho sakta hai. So we identified certain departments that were at a HO level, that were kept out of this scrutiny. So there, made them do, the accounts department जो था हमारा, उसको data mining का दे दिया कि तुम निकालो, ये data निकालो जहाँ पे हो सकता है इश्यूज हो सकता है, जो बल्क सेल्स में कुछ इश्यूज हो सकता है, जहाँ पे फ्रॉड हो सकता है. फिर कस्टमर केयर के, सो स्टार्टेड डेलीगेटिंग एंड स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग. सी, दैट इज द best thing to do audits in this scenario is go to people, like, let's go, let's meet, let's talk, let's ask. This is the best way. Something might click. Now it so happened that 3-4 days passed and I was not able to वो टिप नहीं मिल रहा था, जो पर्सन जो मुझे डेटा दे वैसा बंदा नहीं मिल रहा था. सो ठीक है उसको, देन आई आस्क्ड 1 or 2 people and they told me, okay, this person might give you information. And I went to him, I said, you're one of the most hardworking person now, and if you have any information or the wrongdoings that is happening in the company, you tell me. We are from the management team, so we will report it to them, and it's for the welfare of the employees only. So ऐसे कर करके he gave me the contacts of the ex employee. अभी ex employee जो होगा तो उसके फिर वहां से बहुत सारा information मिला, and we could get lot of wrongdoings जहाँ पे चल रहा था वहाँ पे. And
The forensic audit?
हाँ, forensic, हाँ. So
Okay.
So that is how it happened. But the thing is, see, attitude has to be different. Now here, when we are doing audit, it is different mindset. Here, when we are doing audit, it has to be like, you have to keep encouraging them. Okay, and that credibility also, they need to believe you. That is one of the important, that is why I've covered this point also on this profile of the successful investigator. So first is that they need to, you keep telling them, okay, see, this, we've got nothing to do with your current this, we are directly from the management, And if there is information, if you're telling me the truth, first of all, don't commit to anything, because वो बहुत सारा बहुत data, you will get a lot of data. Out of that, you have to filter the data which has evidence. You need evidence for it. So if they have data and you have collected the evidence, you say that if I get evidence about it, I'll report it. But say koi commitment if they are asking, then you just so that integrity, and also superman बनने का, so many areas चलता रहता है, काम चलता रहता है. Control, yes, you are keeping the control. Your physical inspection is happening, data mining is happening, field visits are happening, so बहुत सारी files you have to go through. So सब काम के लिए the thing is that तो you need to be alert, as well as कुछ ऐसा मिल रहा है, some people उसका फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस देख रहे हो तुम कि ओके यहाँ पे इंफॉर्मेशन हो रहा है, बहुत कभी कभी नॉइजी भी हो जाता है प्लेस बिकॉज ऑफ दीज एक्टिविटीज. तो क्या चल रहा है, कोई हाथ लेके बाहर जा रहा है, लेके जा रहा है, सीनियर जूनियर को बाहर लेके जा रहा है, दैट अलर्टनेस वो सब देखना है. और ओके यू हैव टू सी वो सीन. Even your body language investigator is important. I'm covering all this because sometimes what happens, they take you for granted. So that firmness has to be there, your posture, your attitude, your tone. Now if you're going to Bombay is fine, but some regional places, so wahan pe they have this female male ka issue also. So wahan pe what you males, they don't want to talk to females, so then you have to see that sub everything. So eye contact also, hamara, if they want you to they want that trust thing has to come out, then you maintain eye contact, be nice to them. Whether you're interviewing or interrogation, you need to be nice, you need not be aggressive. देखो हमको वो aggression नहीं करना है. हमको dominating is different, aggression is different. We need to be dominant, yes, but aggression should not be a part of our work. This is what I believe personally. मतलब मैंने जो audits किए हैं उसमें मुझे I don't want to get into, देखे हुए हैं कि some people do get एकदम very बोलते हैं ना बहुत noisy हो जाता है, especially male to male का वो बहुत ही different equation हो जाता है. But हमको वो जरूरत, we don't need to do all that. So maintain this kind of yourself, and I think this really helps people come to trust you. I've ऐसा हुआ है that has happened that people have come to me rather than going to a person whom they felt very this that they are going to just create problems for them. So you need to be nice but at the same time firm. That is the thing. Qualities, when you're asking and when you're listening, very important qualities. So we are going to cover some questioning and listening qualities. So what kind of, the way you frame your questions also, that way you are going to receive the level of response. So if you're going to frame your question in a close-ended question manner, then you'll receive, short reply. So if you ask that whether you had approved of this vendor, yes, no, maybe, whatever. But if you're going to ask them an open-ended question that, okay, I'm doing this reviewing the company's operation and would like to know what do you do on a day-to-day basis. So that is like, you're asking an open-ended question. You're getting all the, you need first when you're doing interview, you need narrative details. कहाँ पे, where more details are coming forward, not less details. So whenever you're starting up, start with open-ended questions. And after that, when you're wrapping up and you need some more information, yes, then you can go for, of course, both are important. Even close-ended questions are also equally important. But I'm saying, if you want more information, this is very good way to ask questions. Levels of listening skills. So as an investigator, what is important is that you don't form the opinion before only, even though you have evidence. But you need to be, when you're talking to people, you need to show interest. Also, you hear them out clearly before forming the opinion. Before forming the opinion at the person level, before forming the opinion at the report level. Both are different. So तुम्हारा report कैसा है, उस report का भी tone कैसा है. So it depends upon when you're doing the whole audit and when you have to, big picture के time पे. So पहले तो तुम पूरा, listening वो होता नहीं है, तुम पहले से ही बोल रहे तुमने तो ये ऐसा फ्रॉड किया हुआ है, ये किया हुआ है, सो ही इज गोइंग टू कीप क्वाइट देन, so your level 2 is you started listening but you are not remembering, and level 1 is when you are showing interest in listening. So you see that is very important, and you remember clearly what is being said. You understood it, that yes, what is being said, before you form an opinion. So I know these are all basics, and I know that just to cover the whole thing I've covered. Micro expressions, we've covered details. Again, the the hand to face, the eye rub is there, then the ear rub, the neck scratch, the collar pull, all these are distractors, and it's not necessary that the person is lying, but you need to be aware that okay, these things are happening in front of you, so you might need you want to probe further. This is anger, squinting when the eyebrows are brought together, so he's angry. So you know that okay, person is getting angry, and if you want to change your approach, you want to just cool down, so facial expressions every time, whenever, whatever you're doing. So happiness is normally does not come within our it's always very sad. Doing such audits is always very sad. People cry, people, lot of emotions, actually lot of emotions go on to when you're doing such audits. Sadness is very droopy, everything is going down, the upper eyelid, the lower eyelid, the focus is gone, even the lips part, that pulling down very. The surprise is when the mouth is open. So surprise is very good, actually. Surprise, when a person, you say something and a person is surprised, that means he was not aware of it before. He's surprised when you are accusing a person and he's surprised, so that yes, he's showing that surprise. So this is one of the this one needs to see. It comes very, see, we are not experts in, but just to know, the knowledge is important for, if we come across such expressions, maybe it might help you in understanding. Of course, evidence play a key role, again, without evidence, but sometimes when there is no evidence and you need to report and you just need to do only interview interrogation, that maybe these things might help you. Contempt is when uh, anger, as well as there's another emotion that is uh, superiority, so then that is one corner of the lip is tightened. This is fear is also very, very the eyebrows and the eyes and the lips, all the disgust. It is got to do with the nose. When the nose flare up, it's wrinkled, and the upper lip. So this is ex-prime minister, sadness, disgust. So steps to conduct interview. I know, I mean, it's a very generic topic. We'll just quickly go through. Prepare, it's very important. We need to understand business. We need to do our audit, our report, MIS, whatever. Need to understand why we want to interview someone. What is the reason? What is the objective to interview the person? So preparing before the interview is important. The questionnaire has to be planned. What happens is that interview is a free flowing process. like it's not governed by the rigid set of questions, but always, it is always better to prepare questions beforehand. See, when doing interview, it is two things is very important. One is you're checking out the verbal response from the person, and also you are checking out the behavior. So both the things, I mean, a lot of loads to your brains. So it's better some planning is there, preparation is there, so you are able to capture these nuances, then always, when you're starting with anybody, you need to greet them, you need to be nice to them, you maintain eye contact, smile to them. Somehow we are serious people, but this is why it is important, is because you need to make them comfortable to give you information. This is and also another reason that why you need to be nice before the actual interview starts, at the time of starting, is that when you're asking them non-threatening questions first. You're not going directly to the, okay, I need this data, I need that data. We normally do that, we are just to the point. But here, when it's a different thing, because when you're asking them non-threatening questions, you're building up rapport with them, you're they're getting comfortable with you, and you're also building up a benchmark of a normal behavior. What is a normal behavior? How is he behaving under normal circumstances? You need to know that. So you're building up that benchmark behavior also. And after that, when you're asking them questions and that benchmark behavior changes, so then it is possible that you need to probe it further. Why he changes normal behavior? You need to know that. Also, what happens, मैंने audit किया, so one person was looking down even for non-threatening questions. उसका employee file मेरे पास था, and I was asking him questions, उसके family background, कितने साल तक he's working with the company, what are his achievements, etc, etc. That time also he was looking down and he's answering. So when I was asking the main questions, where, what do you say, not non but Tabi also he was looking down. So then, you need not pay much attention to it. So all these things, get evidence tactfully, capture the whole picture, squeeze the sponge, you can say, get all the information, whatever gaps are there, whatever that's why during interview it's always good to keep writing notes a little bit, so that that, okay, if whether you have captured the picture. Interrogation, if you write notes, it's shouldn't be in interrogation. You shouldn't be writing the notes, because that time actually your focus is on the suspect. So then you don't give him a chance, you're dominating the whole the whole field. So interview, you write notes, here also capture the whole picture, any missing gaps, also take a follow-up wherever possible. So tab information, volunteer, summarize, recapture it. And this is the read technique of interrogation. It's a very it's followed by a lot of countries and also the police departments across the world. And there has been criticism also, but by and large, this is a very good technique. Again, it is, you don't need, there's no aggression used, there's domination, there's persuasion, and they have summarized the whole interrogation into 9 steps. So that is what they've done. So I'll just go through the steps one by one. First, we'll just understand what are the steps. Step 1 is confront directly. So they believe in attacking directly. Step 2 is deflect. Step 3 is dominate. Step 4 is turning objection into justification. Step 5 is express empathy. Step 6 is handle the suspect's passive mood. Step 7 is present alternative questions. Step 8 is get confession repeated. And step 9 is get the confession documented. So these are the steps. Now, isme what happens is that first step, what they believe is that when you have evidence, that time you take the file with you, you're walking to the interrogation setup, and you just tell them that our investigation shows that you are the one who has committed the fraud. So they say you confront directly to the suspect and observe his reaction and take a pause, take a pause and observe his reaction. And if you don't have evidence, you have circumstantial evidence, and you want to do interview, so there also what they say is that you take files of papers, blank papers, but but you have some idea. See, this is all what you say, some kind of information is there that okay, this is the person who may have committed the fraud, and you want to interrogate them. So first you do interview, build rapport, then get information, then do the summarize it, and then take a break of 10-15 minutes, go out, and then come back and then start interrogation. That is how they believe in doing it. So once you've done that, you take a pause and observe how the what the suspect is doing, whether he's admitting the guilt, not admitting the guilt. If he's not admitting the guilt, he's not confessing, then deflect it. Deflect is that, you know, put the blame away from the suspect. So blame someone else, like the family member or some other set of circumstances, like lack of money, which force the suspect to commit this fraud. पैसा नहीं था इसलिए तुमने चोरी की कंपनी में, whatever. So this gives the suspect some what do you say, some justification, some moral justification for his action. This is called deflection. And also it is called, why what you're doing in this stage is that you're creating a theme. Okay, why he's committed the fraud. Okay, you're giving him a face saver, that okay, this theme may change over a course of your interrogation, depending upon how he's responding, how the suspect is responding. So they believe in creating a theme when you're doing interrogation. Dominate the interrogation. Again, we've already seen that interrogation should not give chance to the suspect to deny the guilt. So he needs to dominate the conversation. In interview, it is a subject, the person you're interviewing, he is talking most of the time. Here in interrogation, it is the investigator who has to dominate. Because once a denial starts, that chakkar, once it starts, very difficult to get confession. Turn objection into justification. Abhi, he started objecting. So then you give justification for it. You be smart. Investigator has to be smart. So if he says that I am from a good family, I am from this cultured family, this and that, I cannot do such fraud. See, yeah, so maybe that's the reason that it might be, you might have committed on the spur of the moment. It is not planned. You just justify, objection hai to usko justify karke move on. You keep talking about why, what made him do this fraud, or some there are a lot of reasons. We that is a different lecture itself about the fraud. Maybe if there is an opportunity, we can take up later, next session or something. But wo sab, wo jo themes wala hai कि what to say and all that, so that you keep developing it and see how he's responding. Whether he's just rejecting the theme, then forget about it. Whether he is nodding or whatever, then okay, you can that is the thing that he is. It might not be true, but he is accepting it because you're giving him you're giving him a face saver. So he might accept that, okay, some very motivation, that okay, he had no money, he was going through some family medical problems, that is why he did this and all that. So that is also what is your motto, is to get confession. That is the motto. So you go on and on with it. It's okay, let him first confess, document it. See, the motive one cannot understand. It is for the court to get why he did what he did. For us, at our level, It is important to get confession if he's committed the crime. So that is our focus, and the focus is to get confession. That is the job of that is the role of the investigator. That is what they say, read technique, and it has worked well. See, the thing is that read technique, because it gives you a very methodological way of doing interrogation. And if you do it the way, with evidence, then sometimes you have to show evidence also, because he is adamant to see the evidence. You need to show the evidence. But this is like they have given a structure to the interrogation. So if you follow it, there are chances that you might get confession. And I have got confession. So I like this technique because I've used it and I've got it. Express empathy. The thing is that it's like, ठीक है किसी ने crime किया है, doesn't mean that you need to maintain the person's dignity. We are nobody to judge anybody. We need, just say, if you go to church, they have this confession box. Why people confess there? The reason is because they are not being judged. You need to become that clergy person who is accepting them the way it is. You might say such things that, a person under normal circumstances, the way you suffered, may have done the same thing what you did, may have done. You don't put such, but you just put that this may have done the same thing what you've done. So what is the best thing for you right now is to come to tell the truth and move on. If you have come, so it is better you admit it that you've done it and move on, because life is too short and life moves on. बहुत सारे opportunities मिलेंगे, मौके मिलेंगे. So you become like a cloggy person. You're talking about philosophy. You're a philosopher then. And always in, ठीक है crime किया है, ठीक है, but move on. So you are encouraging the suspect to confess his wrongdoings. That is your role. The domination, the persuasion, yes, you are agree, but you are also empathizing with him. And see, once a person is empathizing with you, he's nice to you. You're being nice to him. See, interrogation हमें वो मिलता है कि हाँ, we have to be like, you have to bang the whole ये ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be nice. It should be nicely done. अभी यहाँ पे what happens is, see, once they are playing with, this is the whole game that they have made. So when he is objecting, you have to silence him. When he's become silent, that time you have to make him talk to you. So you're talking about the themes that might have different scenarios that might have forced him to commit this fraud or whatever. And you see what response you're getting from him. And they're saying you present alternative questions. So one will be a socially acceptable question, whether it was planned or whether you did it on a spur of the moment. So planning, if it is planned, that means like well planned, and it was he wanted to hurt, he wanted to hurt the companies or this, he wanted to, so that is planned. Yeah, the spur of the moment, okay, impulsive behavior. So he's going to choose the maybe the yes, I did it on an impulsive. So yes, so our main objective is to get confession. So make the confession, repeat in front of the witness and get it document. So that is about the read technique. Here again we discuss this interview come interrogation. Take a 15 minutes break, go out, and then so yes, thank you very much. I have completed my session.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Alka, so much.
How was it?
It was very good actually, and I could relate to it so much.
Okay.
And it's yeah, because I will talk to you offline, and I think it was great. You really covered the techniques very well, and
Thank you.
thank you so much for joining the session and making it very interesting. And it's especially the body language part, the way you covered, that was very interesting.
Thank
So
you.
I think great. It was great having you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. And thanks to the Institute. It's always a pleasure to be a part of the Institute's program. I think I was missing it. I think I stopped and now it's back again. And I really feel so good meeting you all. And I really look forward to meeting, especially women chartered accountants. Always, we keep meeting. Also, we have South Bombay. We meet.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know. We met other day. I didn't know it was you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so yes, it was great. It was a, I would say, a surprise, nice surprise, I would
Okay.
say.
Thank you.
Yes, sure. Let's we'll take it offline. Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Yes, you.